All right, Caroline. So virtually, we are also getting piped through to the conference room at the Community Development Office in City Hall while they work on getting set up and into Zoom. We're having some technical difficulties today. We were set up to be in room 208. However, there was a meeting there that ran over, so we're trying to get recovered here. We're getting started. So it's myself, Caroline, and then there's a handful of people who are listening on a conference call in the conference room at City Hall. So we'll get started, and then hopefully everyone else gets on and can see everything that we're talking about. So welcome everyone. To start off with, I wanted to give a safety message. Road construction season obviously getting started, and you can see that there's a lot of work all over Nashua. I anticipate like the last few summers, it's going to be very busy season. I wanted to remind our passengers to be careful in construction zones. The changing traffic patterns and heavy equipment and all those things create distractions for drivers, which put pedestrians especially at risk. So when you're in a near construction zone, make sure that you pay attention to the traffic. If you have earbuds in because you're walking with earbuds or waiting at a bus stop with earbuds, and it's a good time to take them out and be really focused on your own safety, just because the folks that are driving are no longer able to focus on you because they're trying to adapt to the new situation. So that's our safety message for the day. Obviously, if you approach a bus stop that's not safe to use because of construction, I encourage you to get on the phone real quick, call dispatcher, let them know where you are and what bus stop you were trying to use, and let them instruct you where to go. And then be ready to wave the bus down if the bus comes by while you're still in the compromised position. Wave to the bus and they'll stop at the soonest safe place and pick you up. Morning. Hi, Camille. All right. So hopefully that means that everyone else is able to join as well. Hey, look at that. Welcome, everyone. Good night. Which I'm sure was just the greatest quality ever. All right, we'll move on. So beyond the safety message, we still have the mask mandate in place. Can everyone hear me okay over there?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so the mask mandate is scheduled to continue through the 18th of April. In the past, we've seen the mandate extended usually the week before it was set to expire. So we would anticipate that we would see an extension of that mandate this week if there's going to be one coming. In the meantime, obviously the mandate is still in place. The TSA, so the Transportation Safety Administration, is the one that sets that mandate, and they put that in place on airlines, trains, and buses, so all conveyances of public transit. We obviously have to continue to follow that mandate. One thing that I wanted to remind passengers of is that our supply of masks is starting to run out. And so passengers really need to bring their own masks. The drivers will still have a few until they run out, and then we'll be a place where we won't be able to accommodate people. We've given away, I think it's in the hundreds of thousands of masks at this point. So unfortunately, that supply of free masks that we were able to get tied into has diminished. So that's continuing, and hopefully, like I said, we should have an update here. If we don't hear anything by the 18th, then the mandate will expire, and we'll take our masks off for a while and hope that the situation doesn't escalate back to where we need them. The buses go to basically all of the parks in Nashua. I think we don't really make it all the way to the dog park, but dogs can't ride on the bus in normal circumstances anyway. So, you can take the bus to get to basically any park in Nashua. For example, you can take the Route 1 to visit Greeley Park and Sargent's Park, and you can get to the River Walk on the Route 1. You can take the Route 12 to get to the main Mine Falls stop, which is at the end of Whipple Street near DHHS. You can take the Route 6 to visit Roby Park or Kirkpatrick Park or the skate park. Again, that's at the end of Mine Falls, but that's the one down by the YMCA. So the buses are a great way to get out and go for a walk without having to walk a mile to get to the park to go for a walk. So you can get out and enjoy the coming of spring. Hampton
All right.
Beach.
Oh, sorry, Don. If you want to present it, go for it. But
We are headed to Hampton.
Feel free. I don't need to talk the whole time.
okay. All right. Hello, everyone. So some exciting news is we're going back to Hampton Beach this year. Good news is that we're going to be doing it 4 times instead of the 2 times we did it last year. Each date is going to be on a Saturday, and there's going to be 1 trip for basically every month of summer. So there will be one in June, July, August, and September. Some noticeable dates are the first one on the June 18th trip, where you'll be able to see the sand sculpture competition, and the last date, which those buses will go to the seafood festival. So you'll be able to check those out. For tickets will be going on sale mid-May, so be on the lookout for that. There will be a posting that I will post in the coming week or so. The tickets will be $5 per ticket. You can only buy them at the transit center, and there will be a limit of 4 tickets per person.
I have a question about them.
Go ahead, Caroline.
So let's say I buy a ticket for Saturday, July 9th, that I have a work conflict, I can't make it. Can I use that same ticket, say on August 6th?
No, unfortunately you cannot.
Okay, so they're date specific.
Yes.
All right.
They are. With that being said, if there were still tickets available to August 6th, and you reached out to us at the office, we might be able to help accommodate. Because generally we're able to sell all the seats on the buses. So, if there were still tickets available for August 6th, we could try to work with you, because we'd probably be able to sell your ticket for the 9th.
John, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's times when there are people that are not able to make it, and so some of the tickets are sold same day. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah. So what tends to happen is we sell exactly the number of tickets that we have, the exact number of seats that we have. So for every Saturday, we'll sell 62 tickets. And of those tickets, we usually have 1 or 2 people who don't show up. And so we'll have a small group of people show up same day and see if there are spots that open up, and we'll sell those seats same day. Obviously, there's no promise. If you show up and you don't have a ticket, there's no guarantee that you're going to get on the bus, and we can't put more than the 31 people on board, because it's a long ride and you can't stand the whole time. But that is something that works out for some people when they miss out on getting a ticket.
All right. Next slide.
Yeah.
June survey.
And now we have the June survey. So this is from last Transit Matters meeting. This is part of the biannual surveys that we are continuing to push forward. So this one will start on June 1st. This will be just like the December one, if you took that last year, which is around 20 questions. It'll take around 5 minutes to complete, and there will be digital and physical copies available. Some copies will be available at the transit center and on the bus. If you do fill out a physical copy, if you could just return that to the transit center by the end of June, by the last day of June, that would be great. And yeah, if you could fill out the survey, that would be awesome, as it's incredibly important for us to get your feedback, so that way we can understand and learn more about our ridership needs.
Great.
One of those out.
Hi, my name is Camille. I'm providing an update regarding the transit center renovations. The interior and exterior of the transit center is currently under renovation. We started last year in July of 2021 with the exterior and moved into the interior in the fall of 2021. The interior is wrapping things up, and within about a month or so, the interior will be completed. The exterior was on a hiatus for the winter shutdown from approximately the middle of December through just about 2 weeks ago. So they're starting up with the sidewalk and road construction. So please be very conscientious of where you're walking and also for traffic in that particular area. Because with the ongoing construction outside the transit center, as it's written right here on this slideshow, there's a lot of equipment, there's a lot of hazards, and we want everyone to be safe. The traffic flow will change directions. There are some roads that are two directional that might become one direction. So please take a look for the signs if you're driving and or being dropped off or walking. And also some of the pedestrian sidewalks will be closed and those signs will be up during the closure time. So please be conscientious and find the nearest crosswalk to cross so that people can see you. And also to find out whether or not there are going to be changes in the road construction at the transit center, please do sign up for the transit renovation alerts on the NTS website. There is a slide on the next one, yep, that shows the diagram of what's going on at the transit center. And you can see that the middle, John, if you'll use the cursor. Okay, so John's cursor, wherever the John's cursor is, I'll explain it, is where the road construction is taking place. You can see that that is on the east side of the transit center parking lot near the Santander Bank. There is construction on both the sidewalk and the roadway, which makes Garden Street right there a one-way road heading towards City Hall. So we want to make sure that people are very conscientious of that area. And then on the north side, where the buses are being platformed, you can see a big area above the word canopy in the middle. That is the loading area. In order for the buses to make the turn because of the construction, the loading area is in the area that John just drew on the screen. John, did you want to add anything else in regards to the passenger loading and what to be aware of?
Just one thing. This drawing, this map, does a pretty good job of giving like an overview of what's happening, but there is one area of particular concern, and that's this area here. Let me see if I can grab something to scribble with. This area here, as the buses come past this corner, buses come very close to the sidewalk here. And I just want to make sure that the passengers are aware and mindful of the fact that the buses are going to be within inches of that sidewalk. And I just want everyone to be mindful. I don't want to see anyone get clipped by a mirror because they're not paying attention as the buses come by. So that's one area of concern.
I'm aware of it.
Also that's great. Paul's a rider and he said he's aware of that area, that's for sure.
I am John.
And we're also platforming buses on the south side of the transit center as well. So both the north and the south side. And this work will continue, we anticipate, for a week or two longer. And then about a week in advance or a few days in advance, we will provide an update as to where the next area will be under construction. Right now, there's flaggers that are helping with the traffic flow. And so please do be very mindful of any hazards, whether it would be where you're walking, find the nearest sidewalk, and also with the traffic flow. So thank you very much. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us on Civic Engage if you have any questions about it, or ask the person at the ticket counter. And with that being said, the ticket counter did have to shut down today. There were a few things that did happen today. And on Friday, it will be closed after 2 p.m. for the same type of issue where we need to make sure that we take care of some of the construction items that we need to finalize in order to open up the full transit center. John, would you like to add anything else?
No, I think that's good for this, unless anyone has questions about specifically this phase or construction. Okay, hearing none, a quick driver update. Unfortunately, due to the current driver shortage throughout the country and the region, we don't have any new drivers. We are currently a couple of drivers short, and then we have a couple of drivers who are out on leaves of absence for family or health reasons. So we are in serious need of drivers. If you know anyone who is a CDL class driver who is looking for a job, Nashua Transit is a great place to work. It's not covered here in the slides, but recently we celebrated 10 years without a lost time injury. So none of our drivers have had to miss work due to a workplace injury. 10 years is a long time for that. So we were very proud to celebrate that. So the message there is that this is a good place to work. It's a team that's committed to safety and professionals who take their jobs seriously. So it's a great opportunity for someone, if you know someone who can drive a bus.
John, I have a
Yes.
question.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the routes are scaled back because you don't have enough bus drivers?
No, actually, we're doing more routes now than we did in the past. So we actually expanded service when we came back from our COVID reduction. When we came back from our COVID reduction, we actually added several hours on the weekend and another hour of service to the routes 2A and 6A every day. So we're actually doing more service now than we did pre-COVID.
All right, I'm just, all right.
Paul's gonna ask his question right at the end.
Hey, John,
Okay.
is it,
There's just a
All right.
couple to go.
Yeah. there's a few
okay,
more.
I'm just asking if they're gonna put everything back what we had before.
Right. We'll answer that.
Okay, okay.
All right. So Camille, do you want to talk about upcoming projects?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple of upcoming projects. We've been talking about the live bus tracking software.
Mhm.
This will allow for anyone with a mobile device, tablet, or computer to be able to see where the bus is in real time, so you can plan ahead before you leave. Some people would like to know where the bus is, just in case it's cold or hot outside and they want to get to the bus stop just a few minutes before the bus arrives. And so this will allow for people to plan ahead as to where the bus is on the route. We always still have available for you to call in and check with the dispatcher at the phone number that's listed on the brochures. And that phone number is 603-880-0100. And that information will be on the last slide as well. When the bus is on the route, you'll be able to see the bus and a real-time bus icon. The outline of the map or the bus route will be on the screen, and then you'll see a bus moving along that route. So we're really excited for that project to be moving forward in the near future and to be able to implement that for all of our passengers and to save time and also just awareness in general as to where the bus is. John, would you like to add anything else?
No, I think that this is a really important next step for us, and I look forward to a time when it's that much easier to use our system to get to where you need to go.
Absolutely. Ease of use.
Okay, I have a question about that. Is it going to be on the transit app we currently have, or is it going to be on a different app?
It will be on its own app, and
Okay.
we'll make sure to publicize it.
Great.
Yeah, and it remains to be seen, Caroline, whether there would be a tie-in to like token transit, whether that would be a button that you could access right from one app so that you don't have to close an app and open another one. There are some that integrate well with token transit and some that don't. So it's all just, what we end up with at the end of that process.
Thank you.
Mhm.
This next slide is an overview of our green technology that we have in our fleet. This slide shows a couple of pictures, our hybrid electric vehicle and our CNG bus. We also have one electric admin vehicle that we utilize that is not a revenue vehicle that takes passengers, but actually moves the administrative as well as drivers within the company, and we use the electric vehicle for that. We have 22 vehicles in the bus fleet, and in August of 2022, when our new hybrid electric smaller vehicles arrive, 64% of our fleet will have green technology. It is Earth Month, or Earth Day is in this month, and the city of Nashua is celebrating Earth Month. And tonight at the library at approximately 5:30, the presentations will begin. It will be located in the library meeting room, and anyone is welcome to attend. What they're doing is an overview of all the green technology, and energy-related projects within the city. Does anyone have any questions for me in regards to this slide?
What is CNG? What is that abbreviated for?
Compressed natural gas.
Okay, I've never seen that.
It's an alternative to diesel fuel, and it burns cleaner than diesel fuel does.
Right.
Also, what in Nashua, your gas bill is usually for natural gas. That's what most of the stoves and heaters in Nashua run.
Thank you, John.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our agenda. Obviously, we appreciate you coming, and we're going to open up the floor for questions and suggestions and concerns. Wanted to highlight that our next meeting will be June 14th at 3 p.m. Hopefully in the place that we decide to have it in, and not displaced at the last possible minute. But I appreciate everyone's patience for hanging with us. I know that Caroline, you have a hard cutoff just before 4, but we're running pretty early, so I think we have time to entertain everyone's questions if they have any.
All right.
Paul had a question. Go ahead, Paul.
John, are we
Yes.
gonna have everything get back to normal, or, because I work with Erica, my boss is right here, I'm wondering if we're gonna have the buses all come back to normal like we had before COVID,
So,
like we had the
No,
regular schedule with everybody.
yes. So, Paul, the schedule pre-COVID is not slated to come back at this point.
Not
The
gonna come
changes
back?
that we made to the schedule are permanent. So we went through the obviously the testing process, and thanks to COVID, we got to test the new schedule for longer than we normally would get to test a schedule. So we tested that schedule. The change in schedule was open to public comment. We had a bunch of hearings. We posted publicly about public hearings. We admittedly got very little participation, potentially because of COVID, but also because the changes that we proposed were actually beneficial to most people. So our ridership on our routes is recovering, at the rate that we would expect, maybe not the rate that we would like, but it's the rate that we would expect to see for recovery post the pandemic. And the ridership on the morning routes, the way that we have them now, seems to actually be better than it was previously. So it seems unlikely at this point that we would go back to the schedule that we had pre-COVID, because this schedule is actually working better for more people than the pre-COVID schedule.
But
And
the
I
way-
understand, your situation.
Well, I go to work, I need the bus to go north after 6 in the morning, and how come that one's after 7? Because I'm on the other bus, they're bringing me to work in the morning, the bus coming down is empty, nobody's on it.
Hmm.
I can't get that. So if you could switch that around till after 6 and have the other bus go after 7. Is that a possibility?
I understand that it would work better for you, Paul. Unfortunately, that's not a direction that we're headed currently. Like I mentioned, I know that the bus goes past you headed south and it's mostly empty, but as it proceeds through its route, it ends up picking more people up than the bus that previously started at the mall and came north would pick up. What we're seeing is that this schedule is, like I said, working better for more people. And I know that that's not helpful for you specifically. I think, the way I understand it is that you would need to try to get to BAE by like 6 o'clock in the morning. Is that correct?
After 6, like I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I may stop here, this is more of a specific individual question. And so just in general, what we do with the information
Yep.
is we document it so
Okay.
that when we do move forward with any route planning in the future,
Mhm.
we do have that information in a area where we will go back and take a look at it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so my boss asked me to come and Paul asked me to come and speak, just simply because he's been driving that riding that route for 19 years.
Been riding it. We always had a
Let me-
morning
let me,
run.
let me finish, okay, buddy?
Yep.
So he, right now, his uncle is driving him, which is working.
Yeah.
But I think you know his uncle's in his 80s.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about the van, but the van doesn't work because it's too early. Is that the reasoning?
We can talk about individual right at the end if you want.
Yes,
Because this
okay.
is being recorded
Okay,
for
no
everyone.
problem.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of just wanted to
Find out
to
what
stop. But
extends
yes,
on
we
that.
just, right. So for his purposes, it doesn't look like the routes are gonna come back.
For earlier, to start the routes earlier in the opposite
Correct.
direction, not
Yeah,
at this
okay,
time.
all right.
And that's why I had called,
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
because what we try to do is when someone does request a particular time,
Mm-hmm.
we do try to reach out either on behalf of the individual
Yeah,
or for the individual themselves to see about changing their schedule just a little bit, just
Okay.
to work within the bus system. And if a vehicle was available, then we could dispatch a van. However, the service does not begin until 6.
okay, all right.
I think we can talk some more. Like, obviously, we really appreciate you coming out and helping to, represent Paul's case and his cause. But maybe we can extend the floor to other people, finish having those
Absolutely.
conversations, and then end this meeting and finish the conversation with just the two of you.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Does anyone else have questions, concerns, comments to share today?
Sure, I'll go ahead and ask a few.
Sure, go ahead, Karen.
Oh, no, you're, sorry, that was somebody else. Okay, so in regards again to the Hampton Beach bus, let's say I buy a ticket, but I happen not to be able to make it that day. Who would I contact to say I can't make it so I can give my seat to someone else who would want to attend?
So you would call and talk to myself or Lori.
Lori?
Goodman.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know that $5 means something to everyone, but the tickets are only $5, and hopefully the risk that you take pays off and you're able to go on the day that you buy the ticket. But I think if we still had tickets available for another day, we could talk about the possibility of doing a swap.
Yeah, I wouldn't be asking for a refund, but just to give someone else my seat because I know that the seats are unlimited and I wouldn't want to stop anyone from going if I couldn't go.
Right. And like I mentioned, if someone doesn't show up running up before the bus leaves, there are usually a handful of people who show up on the off chance that there are no shows, and we do manage to get those people on board. I don't think we've ever left anyone at the transit center. The handful of people who show up, we usually have enough no shows to make it that those folks get to get on the bus. So yeah, I think it would work out. I think you wouldn't need to worry about wasting the seat anyway.
Okay. And then my second question is with the survey in June, do we just reach that through the NTS website?
Yeah, Nick, it is going to be on Big Blue and there'll be a link to it there. Nick's working on unmuting himself so that he can answer. Go ahead.
Yes, I am unmuted now. Thank you. So the survey will be posted online on the NTS website, and I will also be posting some stuff on social media, including Facebook and Twitter, which will have the link to the website as well as a QR code on it. So that way you can use your phone to scan it. Those posters will also be at the transit center as well. So you can go to the ticket counter window and there should be a flyer with a QR code, which you can scan, or you could fill out a physical copy if you would prefer.
There's some down there now. What are those for? Are those surveys to fill out?
That may have been a different survey or phase 3, because I know phase 3 is
Okay.
the diagram is at the transit center.
Thank you, Nick, for the information.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Anything else, Caroline?
I think for today, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, if no one else has anything else, I'm going to stop screen sharing and stop recording. And Caroline, once you step out, I think we're going to have a conversation with Paul.
With whom?
Caroline, thank you very much for attending today. We really appreciate it, and thank you for your feedback.
You're welcome. I'll see you in June.
Okay, take care.